I never imagined that the person who would break my trust the most would be my own sister. I always believed that blood meant loyalty, that growing up together meant understanding each other's hearts, and that no matter how far life took us, our roots would keep us connected. But sometimes the people you trust the most end up hurting you in ways you never expected. This is the story of how my sister sold our childhood home behind my back, and how I found out only when it was too late to do anything about it. Our childhood home wasn't perfect, far from it. The wooden floors creaked every time someone walked across them, the paint peeled from the windowsills, the stairs groaned when you stepped on them too quickly, and every winter, without fail, the roof would leak just enough to force us to place old pots on the floor to catch the steady drip of water. But despite all of its flaws, that house was everything to me. It was safe, it was warm, it held a lifetime of memories I wasn't ready to let go of. It was the place where Mom used to read us bedtime stories while we curled up under blankets, where Dad would come home late from work and still manage to find the energy to play with us. That house wasn't just made of wood and nails, it was made of love. My sister Emily and I grew up inseparable. We shared a room, shared our secrets, shared dreams of what our lives would look like when we got older. But life has a funny way of changing people. When Mom passed away, everything shifted. Emily moved to the city, chasing a career and a lifestyle she used to swear she never wanted. I stayed behind, not because I lacked ambition, but because something inside me couldn't walk away from the home we grew up in. It felt like the last living piece of Mom, and I couldn't bear the thought of losing it. At first, Emily called me all the time. She would ask how I was doing, how the house was holding up, how the town had changed. But as weeks turned into months, the calls became less frequent. Then they became short, then rushed, and eventually almost non-existent. Still, whenever she did call, she always asked the same questions. Is the house still standing? Anyone ever offer to buy it? Don't you think it's time to move on? I always brushed off her questions, thinking she was just curious or making conversation. Never once did I imagine she was laying the groundwork for something bigger, something she planned without me. Then, one quiet morning, I got a letter in the mail. It looked like legal paperwork, the kind of boring envelope you'd normally toss aside. But when I opened it, everything inside me froze. It was a notice of property transfer. It said the previous owner was my sister, Emily Carter, and the new owner was something called Silver Lake Development Group. My name wasn't anywhere on the document. My hands shook so badly the paper rattled, and all I could think was, this must be a mistake. It had to be. I called Emily immediately. No answer. I called again and again. Nothing. Each unanswered ring felt like another confirmation of something I didn't want to believe. 3 days later, she finally called me back. And her voice? Calm. Too calm. I told her about the letter, about the transfer, about the shock. She didn't seem surprised. She simply said, I didn't want to bother you with the stress. The house was old, it needed work, selling it was the right thing to do. I remember going silent. My heart wasn't just hurting, it felt like it was collapsing. She continued talking like she was explaining a casual decision, like she had sold an old piece of furniture instead of the home where our entire childhood happened. When I finally found the strength to speak, all I could say was, You sold our home without telling me? Her voice was so disturbingly casual when she replied, I needed the money, and honestly, you were too attached. Someone had to make a rational decision. Too attached. That phrase echoed in my mind like an insult. Too attached to the home where we lost our mother? Too attached to the only place that ever felt truly ours? Too attached to memories she apparently no longer valued? I needed to see the house with my own eyes. When I drove up the familiar street, my heart broke all over again. There, right in the front yard, was a bold red sold sign. Standing in front of it felt like watching a chapter of my life being closed without my permission. A group of developers were already walking around, taking measurements. One of them approached me and said, You must be the sister. She already signed everything. Demolition starts next month. Demolition. The word felt like a punch to the gut. Not only had Emily sold the house, she sold it to people who were going to destroy it completely. Every memory, every moment, every piece of Mom. Gone. Wiped out. Erased from existence. I confronted Emily in person. She didn't look nervous. Didn't look guilty. She barely even looked sorry. She acted like I was making a big deal over something insignificant. "You can't keep living in the past," she said. "This is good for us." I told her it wasn't good for me, that she had taken something irreplaceable from me. She shrugged and said, "I didn't think you'd understand. That's why I did it alone." Her words hit harder than anything else. It wasn't just about the house anymore. It was about trust, about family, about the bond I thought we had. She didn't tell me because she didn't think my feelings mattered. Before demolition day, I visited the house one last time. Inside, it was empty, echoing, hollow. All the warmth was gone. Sunlight streamed through the windows, hitting the floor Mom used to clean. I walked into my old room and found a small box tucked into the corner. Inside were photos of us as kids, laughing, playing, dreaming of what our lives would look like when we got older. And I suddenly realized I wasn't just mourning the house. I was mourning the relationship with my sister that I thought still existed. Demolition day came. I stood across the street, watching heavy machines tear down the porch where Dad once sat drinking coffee, the windows where Mom waved goodbye, the hallway where Emily and I used to run during thunderstorms. The walls fell one by one, and with each crash, I expected to fall apart, but I didn't. I stayed standing because in that moment, I understood something important. Emily could sell the house, but she couldn't sell our memories. She couldn't sell the love that once filled that home. She couldn't sell what the past meant to me. Months passed. Emily eventually called me. Her voice was softer, smaller. She told me the money didn't bring her the happiness she expected. She said she regretted not talking to me, that she acted out of fear, stress, and desperation. I didn't forgive her right away. Some wounds heal slowly, some scars remain forever. But I told her this: you didn't just sell a house, you sold a story, our story, but I'm writing my own now. Losing the house taught me something deep. Homes can be demolished, buildings can disappear, but the memories, the love, the moments that shaped us, those remain untouched. No one can take them away, not even family, not even betrayal. And maybe in a way, losing the house allowed me to finally understand that home isn't a place. It's the moments we carry inside of us forever.